In this video, we're going to do a few extra examples to deal with lines. Okay, so finding equations for lines in different forms, finding slopes, etc., graphing lines. So let's just jump right in. Okay, so remember the slope for a line is the rise over the run, which is the difference in the y values divided by the difference in the x values. So the first example we want to do here is to determine the equation of the line that passes through the points 3, 4 and the point -1, -3, and we want to write our answer in slope-intercept form. So the first thing we want to do is determine the slope. So the slope of this line, which is our m, is going to be the y2 minus the y1 over the x2 minus the x1. So maybe let's just label x1, y1, x2, y2 for our points. So it's going to be -3 minus 4 divided by -1 minus 3. So that's -7 over -4, which is +7 over 4. So that's our slope. Now we can use either point. Okay, so we have slope, m equal to 7 over 4, and point, I'm going to use the 3, 4 instead of the negatives, but it doesn't matter. So then I'm going to use the point slope form, but you could also just go right to slope intercept form and solve for b. Okay, so actually let's just do both. Okay, so let's do the point slope form. Okay, so it's going to be y minus 4, y1, is equal to 7 over 4 times x minus x1, which is 3. So that's going to give us y minus 4 is 7 over 4x minus 21 over 4. And then I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So y equals 7 over 4x. And now let me just work down here. So I have -21 over 4 plus 4, which is -21 over 4 plus 16 over 4. Oops. So that's going to be -5 over 4. So I'm going to have minus 5 over 4. Okay, so that is my equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, now you could also, or using slope-intercept form, we know that y is equal to 7 over 4x plus b, and then we can plug in our point, so 4 should be equal to 7 over 4 times 3 plus b, which means 4 should be 21 over 4 plus b. So that means that b should be 4 minus 21 over 4, which again is going to be -5 over 4. So now we have to remember to write our equation again. So our equation would be 7 over 4x minus 5 over 4, same as what we got the other way. Okay. So then we talked about general form a bit. I said it's the least useful, and they don't usually ask for it, but this one question does, so let's work through it. So here they give us the slope. Okay, so we know that m is equal to -1/2. Okay, and it passes through the point 1/3 and 9. Okay, so I have m equals -1/2, and I have a point x1, y1 as 1/3 and 9. Okay, so I'm going to use the point slope form this time. So it's going to be y minus 9 is equal to -1/2 x minus 1/3. So that's going to be y minus 9 is equal to -1/2 x plus 1 over 6. And now I want to add 9 to both sides. So that gives me y is equal to -1/2 x, and then 1/6 plus 9 is going to be 55 over 6. Okay, so here, at this point, we're in a slope-intercept form. Okay, that's not actually the form we want to be in here. So what we want to do is put it into general form. So I want to kill off all the denominators. So what I'm going to do is multiply this whole equation by 6. Okay, so I have to multiply every term by 6. So that gives me 6y is equal to negative 3x plus 55. So now I have everything in integers. And now I just want all the variables on one side and all of the constants on the other. So I'm going to have positive 3x plus 6y equals 55. Okay, and now we're in general form. Okay, so that would be in general form. Oops. Okay, so you just have to kill off all the denominators that are present and then move all the variables to one side, all the constants to the other. Now, if we wanted the intercepts, okay, the y-intercept we know because we saw it in slope-intercept form. Okay, so the y-intercept is when x is 0. And we know that the b value here was 55 over 6. Okay, so that's going to be my y value there. For the x-intercept, this is when y is 0. Okay, so we want to find out what x is. Okay, so you could just plug in 0. So I'm going to have 3x plus 6 times 0 equals 55. So that's gone. So divide both sides by 3, and I get x is 55 over 3. Okay, so that would be my, oops, wrong color. That would be my x value for my x-intercept. Okay, couple more examples, I think on the last page. So here we want to find the equation of a line that crosses the x-axis when x equals 6. Okay, that gives us the x-intercept, okay, which is a point. Okay, so I get the point 6, 0. Okay, and then we know that it's parallel to the line 6x plus 2y equals 7. Okay, parallel means same slope. Okay, so that means we want to take this line and we want to find its slope. Okay, the way I'm going to do that is to turning it into slope-intercept form. Okay, so let's just solve for y. So 2y should be negative 6x plus 7. Divide everything by 2. Y should be negative 3x plus 7 over 2, which means the slope, the m, is negative 3. Okay, so that's our slope as well. So our equation, or maybe I'll just write the equation of the parallel line has slope m equals negative 3, so the same slope, and passes through the point 6, 0. Okay, so if we use the slope point form, that means that y minus 0 is equal to negative 3x minus 6. So then solving for y, I get y equals negative 3x plus 18. So that's my equation for my parallel line in slope-intercept form. Okay, so now here we want to graph this line. Okay, now it's in slope-intercept form because it's solved for y. So that means that my slope is, negative 3 over 2. Okay, and my b value is 1, positive 1. So that means that we have a point at 0, 1. Okay, so we could begin by just plotting that point. Okay, so here's the point at 0, 1. That's our y-intercept point. Now, when you're doing the slope, you might want to think about it as, so this negative that's out front, it can go on the top, or it can go on the bottom. So it can go in exactly one place. So you could think about it as negative 3 over 2 or 3 over negative 2. Okay, now a negative on the top means the rise is negative. So that means we're going to go down 3. Okay, so this would be a negative 3 on the top, but then we go over 2 to the right. Okay, oops, that's going to give us another point. Okay, or we could have gone up 3. Okay, so a positive 3, and then over 2 to the left. So a negative run is a left value. Okay, and that's going to give us a point here. Now notice all 3 of these points are on the same line. Okay, this one is negative 2, 4. And this one down here is 2 and negative 2. Okay, but then we just connect them with a straight line. Okay, so that would be the line y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 1. Okay, so that's how you can graph slopes. You could also do a table of values here. Once you have 2 points and you know it's a straight line, you can just connect them with a straight line and you're done. So that's extra examples for lines.